use this gospel for protection. It's a hard road to heaven. We call on your blessings. In the Father, we put our faith. King of the kingdom, our demons are trembling. Holy
Alrighty then, mic check, mic check. Welcome aboard, everybody. My name is Vinny, and if this is your first time with us, you are in for a treat. Let's crank that music on down. We are getting serious with it here tonight. We have a very, very important lesson number 5. If you have not done so already, smash that like button. And of course, before you get into lesson number 5, I assure you, you are going to need to go back. What's up, Raptor? Thanks for that. Make sure you head back into lessons 1 through 4. I promise these are going to build on each other, and it is extremely important that you digest what is in this content. These first 5 videos are more important than anything as you go into the next set of strategies. And of course, follow us over here on Facebook and Twitter and here on YouTube. 5 channels divided up by category there for you. However, we are in the Primetime channel and we are live. Make sure you say hello to us over there in the chat box. Let me make sure that our chat box is working here tonight. Yes, there's Doug. What's up, Doug? Thank you for that sound check. Let's get into some things here tonight. I have over 2 pages of notes we're going through here tonight, and one of those is, of course, on your journaling. Make sure you get a notebook that looks something like this. You're going to need 2 of them if you are going to be doing your journaling right. We have people that have questions about that on a regular basis, so make sure you get a couple of those. And tonight is the night to make sure that this goes in the notes book on your observations and things you need to know, things you need to have quickly at hand and in your mind. What's up, Jim T? What's up, Barry from Miami? What's up? Yeah, you guys let me know where you guys are coming from if you guys are hanging out here with us tonight. Again, we are going to be doing this live, and of course this will be available later for those of you who are in premium. All right, let's cut the music, and so the reason we're cutting the music is if you were watching this video later on, you can play this, of course, on YouTube at a higher speed, 1.5x, 1.75, 2x speed, and of course, you can run it forward so there is no music there, and it will not be a distraction there for you. That is its purpose. Okay, so things we are covering here tonight, lots to get through. Let's first, let me bring this up this way for a second. So I've got room here, and I'm going to pull in our Discord chat from a different link because we are going to address some of those things. How you're going to tag into your day. One of the big important topics here for tonight is how you approach your day. Okay, we have some funny gifts going on in our room. Please ignore the fun times we've been having there in the room. I'll try to squeeze that down there. Oh my word, that's hilarious. Okay, don't forget, folks, one of our primary rules around here is if you're not having fun doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. Just remember that. Okay, how about we zoom in a bit? We were at like 90%, 100% might work. I should have had this set up ahead of time. That's okay. So we're going to talk about your journaling, but first thing, daily routine. So in the previous videos, we were breaking down the day down to the minute. By hour, of course, is the main objective on some of those. We're going to talk about what happens at the end of the day here tonight. One of those important keys that we missed from the previous video where I didn't show you guys what happens at 4 o'clock. There is a section there at 4 o'clock, 4:15, 4:30, 5 to 6 important things as you are coming there into closing out the day. Now, how do you start the day? We have a 4-minute prep routine. If you guys have not watched that video, in your notes tonight, you need to put down, go check out the video on the 4-minute prep routine. That kind of is a little audio cue. In fact, if we type in, let's see, Vinny E-Mini 4-minute prep. Let's see if it comes up here without going to YouTube. I have a feeling it may not. There it is. Vinny's 4-minute day trading preparation routine. So if you guys have not heard this one before, does this sound familiar?
Good morning, trader. Here's what we're gonna do.
It's been a while, right?
It's an
oldie but a goldie. This thing has been around 4 years. I should probably maybe redo with this, and I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys like the original, or should we redo this one? You guys go check this one out. But we talked from everything about getting in the morning, making sure you get your breakfast in, your routine, what you should be looking at in the markets. We're talking about your routine, all that kind of good stuff. 4-minute routine. Some of those things that are in there are things like, let's take a peek at the VIX. Things like you need to do a personal assessment at the beginning of the day. How are you feeling? Are you feeling? There are 3 things that you need to assess. If one of these is true, you need to back off of trading that day. Number 1, are you tired? Number 2, are you hungry? Number 3, are you angry? Those are the 3 things you cannot be if you are going to trade. What's up, Atnip? I know Atnip's been with me for, man, Atnip, you've been around with me since pretty much the beginning. It's like, what, 3 or 4 years now? So, he knows the 4-minute routine like the back of his head. I'm sure he can probably quote it verbatim. But let's talk about what happens there at the beginning of the day. Let's get into the routine. So the 3 things that you need to check yourself. Number 1, are you tired? Okay, ask yourself, are you tired? If so, don't trade. Are you hungry? Well, that's solvable, right? That's a solvable problem. Don't trade hungry though. When you are coming into your daily routine with us particularly, we've got that 60 to 90 minute window, and that's it. So make sure you take care of things. I know this is simple stuff, but look, go to the restroom, okay? Go take care of your stuff. When you sit down at this, I cannot tell you how many times I hear people that are like, oh, 4 years, there it is. So how many times have you heard somebody go, oh man, I got up from the table. Is this, what is this? What is this guy still here? Curtis, will you ban this guy? I'm so tired of this guy coming in here, continuously putting his trash in here in our room. We've had a conversation with him several times, and last time he mouthed off. Go ahead and give him the ban hander for us, would you? So, sorry, folks, got a little sidetracked there. We were talking about the morning routine. And tired, got it. Hungry. Okay, so you can solve that. And the other things that you can solve, like coming into the morning where you're sitting down at your desk, take care of that stuff. How many times? Oh, I know what I was gonna say. How many times have I heard somebody say, "Oh man, I missed the best trade. I got up to go walk the dog, or I went to go take the dog outside, or I had to go take the kids to the bus stop," or something like that. That happens on a regular basis. Or, oh man, I got up to use the restroom and the best trade of the day came in, right at that moment. Okay, for us, again, we already narrowed the entire 8-hour normal day for normal people who work into a 60 to 90 minute window. Dedicate that window of time to do this, and only this, nothing but this. Okay, you guys got that? So, tired, again, if you're tired, do not trade live, okay? Maybe flip to sim that day. Assess yourself. So number 1 thing, you sit down at your desk in the morning, assess yourself. How am I feeling? Okay, I have that in that 4-minute routine, by the way, so play it. It says, how are you feeling this morning? Are you tired? Eat something. Make sure, again, eat something in the morning. Get that, don't be hangry, all right? And that pulls into the next thing is, are you angry? If you've got spousal problems, if you got a family issue going on, if you're upset about something, you've been arguing with somebody that day, maybe the night before, assess for yourself. If you're angry, I'm telling you, do not trade, okay? You got those 3 things. That's the only 3 things that I don't want you to be with a self-assessment as you come in. Anything else, fair game, okay? All right, so we talked about the 3 things that you cannot do on a self-assessment in the morning. Make sure you take care of things. You got 60 minutes dedicated. Bam. Okay. Next one is your alarm. Okay. I recommend that you have an Alexa or a Google Home, whichever one you pick, but you should be able to audio in to your device and tell it to set a timer for 90 minutes or 60 minutes. I suggest 60 minutes first, especially for the new timers. That 90 minutes can still, it can extend you past the 5 trade limit for the folks who are brand new, okay? And go back to video 1, you guys know what this is. We're talking about the 5 trades, and of course you get the 6th on that 6-shooter, as you know, right? You should be able to do this. Here I'm gonna go, because I hope that this video is not longer than an hour, so we'll just go ahead and set it. Alexa, set a timer for 60 minutes.
1 hour, starting now.
All right, boom, that's it. All right, you don't need to go and click on something on your desktop. You don't need to go to that. Get yourself one of these devices. It's they're very inexpensive now, so get yourself one of those items for yourself before you get trading live. Okay, the 13 things. Let's go and take a peek at Vinny's 13 things. That is, where is that one? Trade desks. Where do we put that one at? Suggestions, right? Advice, considerations. Where did I hide Vinny's 13 things? All right, 13 things before you day trade for a living. It was on Quora.com. Is it this one? Are these my answers? Oh man. Okay, well, we're gonna have to post that in the room somewhere. Or if somebody finds that one, the Quora link for the 13 things before you day trade for a living is going to be helpful. Make sure you go through those. Again, this is stuff like you got to think about your cost of living. You need to think about your current standard of living. You need to think about how to look forward and not look for a 9-to-5 type of job style thing. There's 13 things in there that I have specifically written out for that one. Kind of a bum that I didn't have that done. I think I spent too much time writing these notes and didn't go and actually pull these out. But the 13 things, I think we just shuffled the room recently and I thought they were up here somewhere. Thank you, Curtis. Yes, here we go. Thank you, sir. All right, so those 13 things here in the room. Curtis just posted those there in the room as well as in the live stream here, and we'll have that down in the description of this video as well. 13 things before you day trade for a living, finding a mentor with a track record, starting to live beneath your means. There we go. That's the one I was trying to say earlier. Living beneath your means. Join a live trade room, reduce your trading universe, trading e-minis, 9 months of trading the sim demo, don't reinvent the wheel, etc., etc. Go down this list before you start trading live and assess. Now again, there are going to be some things that, look, you may, as long as you have thought of these things, then fine, okay, move forward. But that's the whole point of the 13 things list. Make sure you go through that before you get trading live, okay? VIX usage. Let's go straight into using the VIX. How do we use the VIX? So again, from videos 1 through 4, make sure you go through those. But in our room, if you type !VIX, you are going to get the readout of the current market conditions as you sit down at your desk. Neon says, this is the only profession that one can go work and actually lose money. Keep your head in the game all the way through. Don't cheat the system. You will lose. Keep it smart. Okay, now let's talk about that first statement there. He says this is the only profession that you can actually work and lose money. Not true. If any business that can happen to, right? And I've used this assessment before that trading as a business owner can work, and still lose money in a business. The same failure rate in a business applies to trading. You guys heard me that, I think, in the last video, that they're going to look around. There are going to be some people here, 6 months, 9 months to a year from now. You see the people hanging out in our room, that they may not make it. Okay, some people are not going to make it. And I can almost assure you, if you don't follow our rules and you don't execute in the way that I've told you guys to execute in your practice sessions, that it's going to be very, very difficult. The uphill battle from video number 4, I went through that, so I won't rehash it. But as far as business part, that is actually on our list here to talk tonight. But let's go ahead and jump that gun. Talk about trading like a business. Start to think more like something that might be closer to you rather than running a business. If you've never run a business, a lot of people understand real estate agents, right? What does a real estate agent do? Does a real estate agent work and make money 9 to 5? No, they're working in chunks, right? They might get 2 or 3 home sales in a month, and they've got to, live on a month-to-month basis, not on a day-by-day basis. Start to expand that. In real estate, they actually have to spend money that is going out, that's outgoing expenses. They're going to spend money on marketing. They're going to spend money on putting up website information. They're going to spend money on being a part of a real estate group like a REMAX group. They're going to spend that monthly. So that's outgoing funds that they're going to be spending and no guarantee of it returning, right? So that is another business that money can be going out. If they don't sell a home, there's no money coming in, right? Businesses fail all the time and they do a lot of work, right? But they can lose that money. And this is the same thing with you. You can put a lot into this. You can try to build this business, and then if you don't execute well, you know, you can lose. That is totally, totally true in that. So, you know, keep that healthy amount of fear. Remember, two things guide the market: fear and greed. They need to be in balance in you, in your mind. Okay. So what is this VIX thing? 15, where we're sitting at. Okay. 15.8. This is important as you start your morning. Okay. 15.8. You're starting up your business that day. We tell you, use this number. This is sort of like, this is like a speedometer on your car, right? Where are we as far as the speed? Okay, we're sitting right here. What we want the sweet spot, okay, is 13, 14, right? Need to understand how to live on a float and keep financial processes aggregated. Yeah, that's a great one right there. Exactly. So being able to know that you know, you may not be pulling in the money that day, right? Okay, so 13, 14. Remember these two numbers. This is important for the VIX. We will do deeper lessons on this later on. But know that 13, 14 is what we kind of call the sweet spot. Somewhere in this area and in this zone here, this is our hot zone, okay? We've got lots of opportunities in that area of 13 to 14, okay? This is what I kind of call like good market cadence, okay? Good market speed, some ebb and flow, some up and down. Once we start to go higher than that, into this area over here, and when we start to go into this area over here, you need to start to think some things, okay? When we go low, you need to think some things. When we go high, you need to start to think some things, okay? So we're gonna talk about instrument speed here tonight. So as this thing starts to move over, where are we at here? We're at 15. So think about where we are on that scale. We're up here at 15. Now this thing runs, look, this thing can go, there's no limit to this, but when the VIX typically spikes, we're gonna be spiking somewhere up between 25 and 30. We get beyond that, it's super extreme. Now even these really are extremes, okay? And I'm not gonna do a whole study here tonight on VIX. Just know that where we want to have the sweet spot where we're like, all right, our greatest opportunities come in this zone where I think that anybody can play, that anybody can execute well, is right there in this 13 to 14 spot. You'll see that pretty consistently if you use the VIX as sort of a guide of what type of day are you starting out, okay? So first thing, you're sitting down in the morning, you're assessing yourself. Next thing, you come in here, let's look at the VIX. What's the market overall feeling like today? What's the speed limit, okay, on the market today? Oh, we're at a 15. Okay, it's slightly higher than normal. Got it. You guys got that? Check mark. You're trying to set your mindset as you start to press the buttons, okay? VIX, talked about the VIX. Okay. Let's talk about the part that we missed from this little thing back here. Let's go into our trade journal notes. So I'm going to come down here in our education section, trade journal notes, and I'm going to pull up this one right here that we did in, I believe this was lesson 3, if I'm not mistaken. You guys see this? Familiar? This should look familiar. If it's not, then go back and make sure you go through this entire lesson. But one of the things that I realized later on that I missed, and why we're going to hit it again here tonight, is right here. I think I just took it for granted that everybody kind of knows this, but I had a question from a new member the other day that was like, oh man, it sparked a, yeah, we gotta talk about what happens at the 4 o'clock close. Now, a lot of people who come from the equities markets, this is different. Okay, we're not just closing the market and then reopening the next day. A lot of people think that the E-minis and futures markets are open 24/7. That's actually not true. They are open 23/5. Okay, so 23/5 for the futures markets, right? That means, well, what happened to that 1 hour, right? Why is it not 24 hours? There's 1 hour that the market is closed, and it's actually 1 hour plus a 15-minute window. Okay, so I won't get into that. If you want to start parting hairs, it's 22.75, right? We're not going to get all crazy like that, but basically expect that it's 23.5, and there's a 1 hour time that you need to know that the market is closed. So right in here, okay, fit this in to your mental diagram of the breakout of the day. When you approach and you get to the end of the day, I just want to make this point. We'll move on quickly. Again, we're not going to go into a whole lot of this, but you need to know this, okay? Right at, I'm going to talk about the different things that you need to know, okay? We need to know what happens at 4 p.m., 4:15. How about we do this? What happens there? 4:15, 4:30, 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. and these are all Eastern Standard Times. Okay, let me grab a line here. Put this one down. 4:15, 4:30, 5. Okay. So 4 o'clock. This is, of course, the close. But the market doesn't just close up. If you got a trade open, you need to know what happens with this. So start to think, what happens if I've got my trade open at the end of the day? Well, does my trade automatically close out right here? Do I have to close it out right here at 4 o'clock? No, you do not. In fact, you can hold your trade open with no penalties whatsoever. You can hold it through 4:15. No problem. But all of a sudden, there's a market halt right here. Okay, there is a halt at 4:15. Okay, 4:15, there's a halt. That halt lasts 15 minutes. Okay, which brings us to 4:30. Okay, so can you hold your trade through this? Sure. There's going to be a jolt, okay, right around this spot. Oftentimes, not always, not guaranteed, doesn't have to be, but you'll get the picture, okay? We move in from 4:15 to 4:30. 4:30, we get the market continue to move again, okay? Now it's going to be thinner. Things like the earnings reports and stuff can come out at 4:20. You got to be very, very careful here. We'll talk here in just a minute, but I just want you to know the end of day breakdown, what happens after the close, what is the official Eastern time close of the U.S. markets. Of course, we're talking about here. Close, we get 4:30. We are open again till 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, this is the hard close right here. This is probably the most important part of what you need to know if you are trading live now, okay? Because you're going from trading sim, trading demo, trading market replay, where none of this matters, to real world stuff, folks. You do not want to get caught not knowing what to do if you've got a trade open for some reason. Again, I don't recommend these things. I teach you guys what to do. I teach you what not to do, which is also not have a trade during this window. But in case, I know what happens, right? Somebody does it. You are going to have a problem when you get right up here. So see, this is 4:15. This is 4:30. So here is our 5 o'clock right here. 5 minutes till 5. 5 till 5 is like breakdown time. Okay, your broker may close you out right here. Okay, you need to know this. If you are trading live at this time, okay, there's a little 5-minute bracket right here that your broker is likely going to close you out if you do not have a sizable account, which most people who are coming in here, you're trading with, a small account, especially when you're starting out. I tell you guys to start with a minimal sized account to begin with. But you need to know your broker's going to close you out here. Okay, why? Why do they close you out? Right here. This is where margin begins. This is where real margin begins. And I'm going to show you guys what those are here in a chart in just a moment. But I'll give a couple of examples, things that you already know. Okay, before this window of time, your NQ is going to cost you $500 per contract. Right? And your CL, how much is that one? You guys know? $1,000 per contract. Right? This is called intraday margin. All right, on this side of the line, intraday margins apply. Right here for this little silly window, and I call it a silly window because you're probably gonna eventually be like me and be like, why does that exist? Like, why even have it? It's only an hour. Look, I won't get into the nuances of what or why. At this point, I'm just gonna tell you what it is, okay? Between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, all right, this, oops, I want to do a square. Okay, 5 o'clock to 6, this is where you go into what is also referred to as maintenance margin, or overnight margin, right? AKA Now, don't even get me started on that. This is literally considered overnight. So in the futures market, how long, pop quiz time, let's see if you guys can tell me, how long is overnight in the futures markets? Ready, go. All right, somebody says, oh, did you hold it overnight? What does that actually mean? These definitions matter because we're trading futures and E-minis. These are the little small nuances of things that you need to know before we go into trading live money. What is it? How long is it? How long is overnight? Right, you go to sleep, maybe you're gonna sleep 4 hours, you can sleep 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, obviously not 24 hours, but what's overnight? Not on a Friday, let's not get all tricky, but on a Monday, how long is overnight? Anybody? I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I don't know how long the delay is on YouTube. If you answered 1 hour, you are correct. Overnight lasts for 1 stinking hour. Okay. Don't argue with me about it. Don't ask why. I mean, you can go ask why, but I'm not going to answer you. Go tell you why. Go talk to the people who made this stuff up. Okay. I thought it was weird when I first figured it out a long time ago as well. Okay, so overnight is 1 hour. I don't understand. And during this window, maintenance margins apply. That's the important thing. You're going to get closed out. This is the other important thing. You're going to get your stuff closed out at this moment. It can suck sometimes if you're brand new to these things and you're like, what's going on? I don't understand. They'll close out most of your position. They might leave you with like 1 contract, sometimes 2, depending on the size of your account. It literally, you'll see what I mean by that in just a moment. Just remember these 2 numbers down here, right? NQ is $500 a contract right there. It's $1,000. During this window of time, your NASDAQ goes up drastically, your crude oil goes up drastically. And by the way, these are not set in stone. They can adjust on a regular basis. You need to go talk with your broker or look on their broker's website to see what those maintenance margins are during this 1 hour window, because you need to have that amount of money in your account in order to hold your positions open per contract. You guys following all that, right? If you follow that, type me a 1. If you're lost on that or got a question on that, type me a 2. I hope that's clear. But 1 hour, you're going to maintenance margins. And then over here, we go back to fun times again, okay? Over here, we're right back to $500 a contract and $1,000 per contract over there. What's up, Raylan? Thanks for showing up. Hope you're feeling better. I know you had some issues recently, but good to have you back, sir. There we go. All right, you guys are getting it. Perfect. Okay, if you guys have questions on this, refer back to this little thing right here. Take your screenshot of this. You need to know these things, right? And if you kind of get caught up in it, it's like, wait, what happened? Where's it going? Remember, there's a chart on this, and I'm going to show it to you in just a moment. Looks like everybody's getting this. Awesome. We got lots of 1s. So let me show you what those maintenance margins are. If you ever want to know what yours are, for the time being, we try to keep this up to date in our room. So you can just come to our public chat area and just type exclamation mark. I can't remember if it's margins plural. Yes, it is. All right. Type exclamation mark margins in our room, and this beautiful little gem will pop up right here because, you know, most of us are using these guys for your maintenance margin. NQ maintenance overnight is 82.50 right now, and crude is 38.50. Holy shnikes, think about that. So you go from those are some pretty big numbers, right? You're going from think about it. You only need $500 for 1 contract prior to, and then it goes to $8,250. Think about that, right? For 1 hour, you need this amount of money in your account for 1 contract. Okay, so this is what I mean by, like, you need to kind of close out. Like, don't play this game where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna hold this position. If you're not right at that point, now of course, hopefully you're all gonna tell me, oh no, Vinny, I was in the green by like 10 grand, so you know I'm gonna hold this position. Okay, that's different. But most of you guys, when you're riding at this part of the day, it's usually not a good sign. I'm just gonna tell you. Am I right? Anybody with experience can tell you if you're riding into this part of the day. When you're an intraday day trader, yeah, it's usually not good. Let's be honest. Okay, so yeah, 500. We bust to 82.50 for that one, and crude. Crude's kind of low, man. I still remember back, way back in the day, It used to be $13,000 to hold a contract of crude overnight. Is that crazy or what? You know, you kids don't know how good you got it. I used to walk uphill in the snow to get to school both directions. All right, I'm joking. Okay, so let's see. 1 hour, 15 minutes on the session till 6 p.m. So that's when the maintenance margin starts at 4:45? Is that right? I think it's officially 5 o'clock, but I'm not sure where you got the 4:45 from, though. But if you post me a link on that, that's awesome. I don't think this tells what time. I think that's pretty set. But they'll close you out 5 minutes prior to it just to save you, right? So again, maybe brokers differ, right? Depending on whether you're with NinjaTrader, we've got 2 broker options there, etc. But yeah, it might be true with some other vendors, so I'll give it to you on that. 6 p.m. Okay, yeah, it's 6 p.m. right? Yeah, I was looking at Neon. He also said 4:45. But yes, it starts at 5 Eastern time. Remember, everything that we do in here is Eastern time. Starts at 5, goes to 6 Eastern. Okay, you guys got that? Cool. Now again, that's all different. Gets a little bit weird on a Sunday. Okay, so let's talk about, we're going to divide up the week here in a little bit, and we'll talk about how the week rolls over. Okay, because Friday, no, you cannot trade on Saturday, and no, you cannot trade on Sunday, technically. Okay, the Sunday open that happens on Sunday is technically the Monday open. Okay, so I know that's a little bit weird. We'll talk about that. But if you ever want to look at those maintenance margins, let's zoom in here, and you can see those particularly. So here's, for instance, ES should be relatively cheap. Yep, $6,300 to hold that one. And to be, and my agent advised these times. Okay, yeah, they'll advise you. Yes, advise this. You should close out your stuff at 4:45. That's a good point. They'll advise you 4:45, but they will literally close you out 5 minutes before to enforce that hold time. But technically speaking, the absolute cutoff is at 5 o'clock, 5 to 6. Yes, 5 to 6 p.m. is the official maintenance margin time. Yes, Crypto Dan, exactly. So this maintenance margin, there it is, applies at that time. See how the intraday margin is here in this column? This is what I want you guys to know before you go live. Okay, intraday margin. This is what you're usually used to. Look at Bitcoin, is that 40 grand? 40 grand intraday, which I don't understand at all, because during the maintenance window it's only 15,000. Someone in the Bitcoin realm explain this one to me. Crypto Dan, you're the crypto guy. I don't know. You probably don't know futures, but why is the crypto future 40 grand unless this is a typo on their sheet? Is that supposed to be 4,000? Somebody needs to tell NinjaTrader that that's a typo if it's not 40 grand. But why does it go from 40 grand to 15? Yeah, you know what? That's got to be a typo, right? It's got to be 4,000, right? Because 40 grand and yet the initial margin is only 16,000. Yeah, we got a typo. This is a typo. Don't tell NinjaTrader I told him so, because I've given them enough trouble lately. Steven got wrecked recently, and I don't want to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not actually a troublemaker as much as people think I might want to be or try to be. No, I just wreck people with the truth. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that I think this is 4,000 for Bitcoin and 15,000 maintenance. Okay, you guys get it, right? You guys got all that? Any questions? Type them there in the chat box. We'll try to get them answered. But this sheet should answer everything. Just go over here on the left, find your instrument that you're trading. There's ES, whatever. Here's MES. Okay, so let's talk about the micros. Look how low it is for the micros, right? It's cool. Only $600, a few $100s to hold your micros. Micros are that new thing. We talked about that in the previous videos, so I won't go into detail on that, but I want you to understand maintenance margin happens, and don't let it happen to you. Don't get caught. All right. Okie dokie. Covered that one. Another one. Max drawdown. You do not get to control this for yourself, folks. All right. Let's talk about max drawdown. Now, you need to have kind of a max drawdown for yourself anyways. We'll talk about those later, but I want to talk about hard sets. Intraday margins are from what times? All the other times. Crypto Dan, all of the other times. It's a good question. But yes, the only time, think about it like this. Think about it in the negative. The only time it's not intraday margins is in the maintenance window, which is AKA maintenance window, AKA overnight. You got it? That's it. Technically, the switch from one day to the next day. Literally at 6 o'clock at the open of the following day is technically the beginning of the following day in that. So that's sort of the complexity of futures. Why it's literally like one of the small things that's small/big about trading futures, why they make you sign in blood, that you understand what you're trading and why and how it works. All hours except 5 to 6. Exactly. That's a great way to put it, Neon. Exactly. Any other time, it's literally intraday margins except between 5 and 6. It's crazy, isn't it? Yep, but you need to know it. Awesome. Max drawdown. Let's just put it in real easy terms. Let's go red here. All right. 80% of your account. Now, before some troll comes in here and screenshots this and goes, look what Vinny said. He said his max drawdown is 80%. No wonder. Please wreck any troll that decides that they want to say that. Max drawdown from your broker. Broker. Speaking of broker, my spatial stuff is all right. From your broker, yours truly, it's 80%, folks. Okay, so if you lose 80% of your account, your broker is going to close you out for the day. Okay, this is per day from your broker. Okay, your broker, like, so let's say you've got $1,000 account. Okay, if you lose 800 of it, boop, they'll close you out for the day. If you try to take another trade and press the button, you'll click the button. All right, you hit the. If I can get a whoops. Let's do a square here. Yeah. And let's go green. If you try to hit the buy market, you're like beep 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 beep. You're like, why is this not working? No, you'll get this big fat error message that pops up and goes basically no margin available is what it usually says. I think something like that. Or what does it say? It says something about, I think it says no margin available. But basically, they will close you out for that day. Okay. Now, what time does the next day start? You now know, right? This applies till 6 p.m. following day. Now, this can vary, right? If your broker can make this up for you. Okay. So you can actually call your broker and tell them that you'd like it to open back up, blah, blah, blah. It's a protection mechanism on their part. They'll tell you what the rules are. But what happens, let's do something a little bit bigger. Let's say you're in a $10,000 account and you lost $8,000 for some reason. Okay, something stupid happens and you're down $8,000. You have $2,000 left in that account. Can you still trade the next day? Yes. How many contracts can you trade? Well, up to 4, right? So 4 contracts on NASDAQ, for an example. Okay, but with that 2,000, now the next day, 80% of 2,000. You lose 80% of that 2,000. Okay, Alexa, what is 80% of 2,000? I believe it's 1,600. Anyway, so you lose $1,600. Okay, you're left with $400. You can no longer trade, right? So 2 days like that, back to back, 80% losses, but it's 80% of that day. Okay, so as the day begins, and that's based on your broker, some of them do 6 o'clock, some of them do like 8 o'clock before the market opens. So you have to talk to your broker on that, but that is broker specific, and this is why I'm talking about live things. This is why this is video number 5 before you go live. Okay, things that matter at that. Any questions on the broker closeout? Okay, basically when you get to, you'll always have 20% of your account. Is that any consolation to anybody? No, probably not. You get to keep 20% of your account before you basically close out and say bye-bye. All right. So don't let this happen to you, but I'm telling you that you need to know these things. Okay. All right. So we've talked about it. Max drawdowns from your broker. Margins, they'll close you 5 minutes before. We got that. All right. Days of the week, contract rollovers. I think most of you guys got the contract rollover thing pretty good. Let's come in here and take a look at what that kind of means. I'm going to full screen. How about this one here? And let's move it down a little bit. And let's have to move it over. All right. So up here, we're going to talk about contract rollover. Again, we'll go through this quickly because I think most of you guys know this one. Contract rollover for any kind of futures market. On occasion, you're going to have to change your instrument. Now, there are exceptions to that rule. There are things like infinite contracts. I'm not going to get into those. Most brokers, you're going to have to do this, okay? There's a calendar of these things. We'll go through a whole course on this, but just know that on occasion, you're going to need to swap this. So right now, we are on the NQ for NASDAQ. We're on NQ 03-20. Okay, that is the March 2020 contract. And somewhere around the time of March, there is going to be a date in there on the calendar that we need to roll over to the next one. Different contracts roll over at different times per year. This is probably one of the most complex things that we all take for granted because we just do it and everybody kind of tells each other when it's going to happen. So don't sweat it. Most of us will tell you when it's happening. We'll tell it to you in the room. So again, don't worry about knowing it. Just know that it exists. You need to know about it. And we will help you to know what contract month you're supposed to be on as you are hanging out in our room with our crew, okay? But on the 03 contract, these contracts actually roll over quarterly, right? So what's the next quarter after this one? It's going to be 06-20, right? So every 3 months, we're rolling over, right? 4 quarters in a year, 3 months at each. All right, so the next one will be the 06-20 contract, right? The 09, and then we start over again, right? So you guys got any questions on any of that? Go look that one up, right? If there's any questions, pop them over there in the chat and we'll hit that up. But contract rollover, you need to be aware of that on occasion. We get to roll over those. There are things like crude oil. Let me talk about crude because this is one that is pretty popular. Okay, a lot of people trade crude oil. CL rolls over every month. Okay, so 03 contract, 04 contract, 05, 06. This one rolls over much more often. We've got an entire set of strategies specifically around crude oil. Not a whole set because there's not that many of them, but there are things specifically for crude oil. If you are trading crude oil, we have particular plans set around crude oil with things like the weekly inventories, etc. We'll talk about that briefly here tonight as well. Just want you to be aware of these things as we are covering this lesson here tonight before we go live. Okay, where it begins, got that one. All right, seasonality, folks. Seasonality, this is a big topic. This is where, in my opinion, most traders tend to fail, especially beginners. Okay, seasonality of markets. Okay, markets shift in personality. There are seasons all the way down to the hour. We've talked about the different times of day, that different times of day, different types of personalities emerge based on a lot of different factors. Won't go into those here tonight, but other types of seasonality that are larger than the minute by minute, hour by hour is things like, on my list, all I want you to know here tonight, we are going to chalk through a list. I'm just going to list these, and I want you guys to take a screenshot of the list and go and keep these somewhere so that you can reference back to them, okay? Day of week. News of week. We'll briefly hit each one of these. If you guys have any specific questions on any of them, we can go into detail. Earnings week. Rollover. We talked about that. A rollover week. Quad witching. Crude oil inventories. Oik. Oik inventories. All right, you guys have to take a screenshot of this. I better make it good, right? Crude oil inventories. What's next? Summer, winter. And I'm not sure how much room we've got here. Let's do it here just for now. Sell in May. Go away. FOMC. Pre-post. Red star. Should be days. Unscheduled news. Holiday impacts. CME closing times. And other inventory events. All right, perfect. All right, take a screenshot of these. We're going to go through these and kind of explain in general. Again, this is like trying to plan your day. What are things that you are going to be thinking about? These things can impact on a macro level things that are going to be going on. Macro events to keep in mind, right? Eco data, eco claims. Yes, so that one, those type of things are covered in the news of the week. So Neon's talking about the news of the week, so we'll jump right into them. So day of the week. There is a difference between different types of, well, basically not just different types, but we're talking about the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each one of these days has a type of personality, okay? Monday, slow. Tuesday, usually great day to trade, really kind of that midday spot. Lots of people have a lot of success here. Just naturally on a Tuesday, not a lot of craziness happens on a Tuesday. That's kind of what I kind of call like the biggest green day. Now, doesn't necessarily be. A lot of people have fantastic days on Thursdays. These 2 days particularly. This one actually kicks in more VIX. So for us, we got a lot of hit there on Thursday. Wednesday is this sort of this kind of question mark day right here on Wednesday. We call it Wacky Wednesday sometimes because you got crude oil inventories in there. Oftentimes this is where FOMC will occur on a Wednesday, but you need to know things about the day of the week. So just know this right now. We'll go back into detail on this in future videos, but just know that there is the day of the week that you need to be aware of in seasonality. News week, things like what Neon was just referring to, the economy news, economic news events. Those are, we have an economic calendar. We'll go over that and show you guys that here in a moment in our room, but you can anytime type !news and get the current news events listed in our room by that command, okay? Earnings week. We know we look at this at the beginning of the week on Sunday night before we start the week. Earnings are planned out. Earnings, this is where when Apple, Microsoft, all the FANG stocks, they're going to be reporting. That can impact what's happening that week. You need to be aware of that. Seasonality, I'm telling you right now, is a place where good traders go to die, right? They're doing so well. Everything's going just just hunky-dory. And then all of a sudden, some unawareness or something they forgot about. They forgot it was contract rollover week. They forgot it was quad witching week. And things start to go out of bounds from where they were and they don't make the adjustment. Okay, these are things you do not want to get caught off guard. Like, you literally just call this list, like the list of things you don't want to get caught off guard with, to be aware that these could be occurring so that you can maybe make minor adjustments. Again, I'm not saying make major adjustments. There are a few items on this list that we do make major adjustments for, but most of these are minor adjustments that you need to be working on as these come up. Okay, rollover. We talk about the buckets. All right, I want you guys to picture, every time we talk about rollover, picture Vinny's buckets. Okay, we'll go over this in another video, right? But think about the buckets. What were those? You remember that? All right, our two squares. We are dumping one, filling up the next. Okay, rollovers. Quad witching. Okay, this could be feast or famine right here. Okay, quad witching week. Don't get borked. Know that it's happening. Know that you maybe get that increased volatility. Maybe you get some bigger trades. Maybe those also work badly against you. Be careful on quad witching weeks. Oil inventories, right? This is once per week. This is something that can happen once a week. It's always on a Wednesday, except with scenarios like we got holiday impact. This might get moved back. If Monday's off or the previous week something happened, there's a holiday, this can sometimes get pushed to a Thursday, right? So this is always Wednesday or Thursday. Summer versus winter. Holy shnikes. Summertime doldrums, they call them that for a reason. However, does that mean that markets are dead during that time? Absolutely not. But be aware of what season you're in. Things like, hey, try not to trade too much short on crude. Okay, during the summertime, crude naturally rises. You need to know things like seasonality of crude, right? That during the summertime it moves up, wintertime it goes down. What about things like nat gas? If you're trading nat gas, okay, wintertime, there's a natural thing for that, right? What goes up in the winter, what goes up in the summer? Probably something to be thinking about. Okay? Sell in May and go away. That is something. Know about what happens around that May time period. People do go off on holidays, all that kind of stuff. I won't go into it here tonight, but just know about the month of May. Okay? FOMC Day. This is a big one. I'll give this one its own little star event here on FOMC. We have pre-FOMC, post-FOMC, and FOMC Day rules. You can learn those through some of our other videos. That video is already out there on our rules for that and our bias and how we trade towards those golden ropes, when and where. Right? Red Star News Days. What are these? When you're going down the Forex Factory list and you're looking at the economic news that's coming out that day, the ones that are marked in red, that's what I refer to as a Red Star event. Right? Red Star News Day gives us that extra volatility. But be careful around the Red Star News event. We're going to talk about what we do around a news event here in just a moment. That's the next one on our list. Okay, unscheduled news. This can be extremely dangerous. All right, there is a danger zone around unscheduled. Like, you don't know, something could happen. Boom, something's happening. You don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, the market starts moving like crazy. You're like, what's happening? What is going on? All of a sudden, well, this is why I tell you, what do you need to do to avoid this happening to where you're just completely caught off guard? You need to have your TweetDeck up. Okay, TweetDeck. If you don't know about TweetDeck, remember, go back to the previous video. I showed you guys how to set up your TweetDeck. Make sure you've got it filtered for the hashtags that I told you. Of course, follow us on Twitter. That way, as news starts to come in, you'll see it immediately flooding through on your Twitter feed, and you won't be like, what is going on? You can literally go over there and go, a bunch of people are talking about, looks like the OPEC just had a meeting with the Saudis and they said they're not going to produce oil next month. Okay, something like that. Yeah, Trump tweet. That's an example. We have all the Trump tweets coming into our room, by the way. Although people have started to get used to Trump tweets, so it's become less impactful than they were, say, I don't know, year and a half ago. They used to have a lot more impact. Now people started to get used to it. Honestly, I've seen that. Like, it's almost like, snoozer, right? Unless it's a major thing. But be careful of that. Yep, you might want to check those out. But people will pretty much tell you on Twitter first. It's kind of like it's almost like a Insta news feed. Okay. CME closings. This has to do, these kind of are tied together. Just know, like on a day, you don't want to get caught being like, I'm trading right into noon, and you're like, wait a minute. Why did the market stop moving? What's happening? They're closing at noon today because it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Like, in different places of the world, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. So they're just like, it's just another day. So, U.S. Impacting events for holidays, don't get caught if you're in another place. We got a lot of folks in Australia. We got some people in the UK and things. Just be aware that the US might be having a holiday, and you don't want to be caught in those hours where, oh, I'm supposed to know that the market's closed. Okay. Other inventory events, things like nat gas. Okay, I talked about that briefly. Nat gas inventories on Thursday. Okay, I'll talk about one particularly, nat gas. Okay, best day to trade nat gas, Thursday. Okay, would I trade nat gas any other time? No. Okay, I don't trade nat gas. I don't even look at it on any other day other than Thursday. Why? Because it's snooze fest prior to that. Okay, it's just the way that the commodity itself moves. We'll talk about what a commodity versus an E-mini versus a futures contract is here in a moment as well. But yes, nat gas on a Thursday. What's the best time to trade Forex? Another one. Forex is Snorex, right? I always joke about Forex. Forex is too slow most of the time, right? FX though, trade it on a Thursday, not because of nat gas inventory is coming out, but because of non-farm payrolls. Red Star news events tend to move the markets, and that will move the money, which is foreign exchanges. So make sure you know about those. Okay, here is your screenshotted list. Take a screenshot right there and save that somewhere for yourself. Okay, so we've covered our seasonality spot, contract rollover, got it. Gold strat example. I'm going to skip on that for now. We'll come back later. Indexes versus commodities versus E-minis, futures, etc. All right, so what are these things that we're trading? You need to know kind of, you really don't, I guess, have to know what you're trading as long as you can trade it, right? What does it matter? I think somebody infamously said, trade it, don't date it. Something like that. What are we trading? Okay, so categories, things that we're trading. So a lot of people call them, so the generic term for everything that we trade, futures, contracts. Okay, what types are they? Let's go some blue, some T. All right, so what is an E-mini? Oh, derp, derp. Metal, bond. I'll put these in a terrible way. It's gonna be hard to see. All right, what's up, Remel? Okay, again, there are more than this, but I just want you guys to get the idea here because the ones that we care about, I'm gonna give examples of. Okay, so our E-minis are things like NASDAQ, YM, ES, RTY. Okay, these are E-minis. This is the NASDAQ. Very common things that you guys have heard about, even if you are not a futures contract trader. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P 500, RTY. This is the Russell 2000 index. Okay, anything that says index is likely going to be considered an E-mini. I'm not going to go into the details of that tonight. Just know that this is what it means by the E-minis. Okay, commodities. These are things like crude oil. Gold is technically a metal. Coffee. I don't even know what the symbol is for coffee. Is it CF? Or is it K? KF? I don't remember. If somebody hook me up with what the coffee is. God, I'm going blank. I don't even trade these. Some other, oranges. I don't even know what oranges is either. All right, how about we just go food, hogs, etc. Yes, currencies. That was one that I wanted to put on the list. Thank you, Neon. So metals. So metals are things like silver. Yeah, coffee is a K. All right, KO for coffee. Thank you, sir. And silver, I think it's SV or is it SL? It's been a while. I don't trade silver. Gold, we do trade that. That's one of our bread and butters right there. Gold. Yep. Cattle. Yep. So commodities, things like that. And this is gonna matter here in a minute. let's see. Let's put that one in this list because that is important for the currencies. Yeah, that's a big one, actually. Okay, currencies. This is Forex, right? Bonds. This is anything that has the Z's in it. All right, Z anything, right? ZB, ZN, and as I like to call it, snooze fest. Zzz. And the people who usually trade it are usually scared traders, so they just don't want to trade a lot, and they're typically bad traders. No offense to them, but hey, be offended, don't care. I'm so nice. 6E, 6J, 6A, 6C, basically sixes. Yeah, HG, copper, platinum, and palladium. You know, I know, let's talk about the pros and cons of some of these. Not going to go into a lot of detail on those tonight. I just want you to know about them and know that they exist. And my general thoughts on why this is the main stuff, right? I'm Vinny E. Mini, okay? I think that this is my focus, okay? This is my, let's do this, we're doing it red. How about orange? I haven't done any pink. How about that? There we go. All right, this is kind of where this is my bread and butter. You guys see me trade this way more often, right? What's my absolute favorite, right? There's my favorite right there is old NQ. But do I recommend new traders trade NASDAQ? It's a little bit too fast, I think, for most traders. At the same time, it's your personality. I've found some people that are very, very good at it. Ursulon, right? He is a beast. There are some people, you know the ones, right? The people that are just very, very, very quick on their feet, quick on their toes. You know, he's studying to be a doctor. So actually, I hope one day that if I ever have surgery or need some help, whatever, you know, I want a good guy like himself who's super sharp to work on me. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So fast, NQ, and there are speeds of these. We're going to talk about instrument speed here as well, because choosing the instruments that you're going to be trading is also important. All right, commodities, crude oil. These are very specific. Okay, I want to tell you, like, this is like, be careful as you trade these. Okay, now crude oil is, you know, a bread and butter beast here. Okay, a lot of people trade crude, and it's awesome. I used to trade crude a whole lot myself. It's a single thing, right? It's a single entity. It could be controlled. When I stopped kind of trading it was OPEC. Okay, when OPEC took over and it's no longer controlled by standard supply and demand, and there was an entity that could control price, I kind of like the rebel in me was like, beep, I didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, good or bad, whatever. And yes, I'm sure it's still controlled a little bit by supply demand, but when somebody is controlling the on and off switch on it, okay, they can crank the knob up, crank it down. Get out of here. I'm just whatever. But crude, hey man, $10 a tick, good stuff. But pros and cons, right? You need to know the pros and the cons of the things you're going to be trading. I'm not going to go into all the details of those here tonight. I want to hit the highlight reel on it, but know what you're trading and know why you're trading it and know its weaknesses. The problem is most people always focus on their pros. They don't focus on their cons. You need to know the weakness of the thing that you're trading, okay? For instance, what's the weakness of the NASDAQ? The thinness. Okay, the thinness of the market and its speed is both a plus and a minus of it. Okay, it can get very jittery at times because it's just whipping so fast as there's such a thin set of bids and asks on either side. Most to take delivery of. Oh, yeah, commodities, you could take deliver those. Yeah, if you go look up what taking delivery, you don't want somebody to deliver a barrel of oil to your front door. Although most brokers don't allow that to ever happen. It's like there's a big showstopper on that. But you could technically take a delivery to your home address of the commodity that you purchased. You buy one hog, they'll send a, hopefully it's frozen. I don't know how they send hogs. But yes, it can happen. Metals, you know, there's some things that you need to know about metals, like gold. Hey, you've heard the old when in doubt buy gold, right? If fear increases, then gold is usually a safe haven, so you'll see things like that being offset. So know the personalities and know the macro events of the instrument that you're trading. Okay, not that it's super important because we're algorithmic, but just keep them in mind as you trade them. Bonds, extremely thick. Okay, extremely thick. So think extremely slow. That's the problem. Okay, Now, you can get all kinds of size in them, right? If you become some massive, sizable trader and whatnot, and you want to go and trade the bonds, and if you're a scalper, you want to scalp it for a few ticks. The price per tick, you need to know those things as well. The prices per tick on each one of these varies, and just know your instruments' currencies. Still a big one. Used to be much more for me. I found that, look, as the volatility started to kick back up, I really don't have to dip into these too much. But when I'm running a full auto system, I do diversify into all of these, a piece of each one of these. Again, this comes out of Ecclesiastes 11. Divide your lots into 7s, 8s. Have a foreign exchange in one of those. That cast your bread upon the waters after many days that return to you with a profit. That is across the seas, and that is interpreted for me as foreign investment. So that is part of our strategy that we tackle these as well. So easy way to do that. 6E is the euro, 6J, Japanese yen, A, it's the Aussie dollar, C, Canadian dollar. See how easy that is? Isn't that nice? Love it. Alrighty then, next topic. You guys get any of that? If you guys got any questions on any of that, pop that in there. Neon said thin markets, very light float. Okay, let's see. That applies to stocks. You don't really talk about float in futures markets. You can short anytime. Really, float only matters, I think, really when it's you need to short stuff to be able to borrow. But I don't know. Tell me a little bit more on that. Why you think float is important on that? I tend to disagree, but maybe I don't know something specific that you mean on that. E-mini versus future commodity. Got it. Volume and spread. Oh, let's talk about the spread. Okay, some of the problems with some of these. Beware the spread. Okay, this is a beware of things that you're trading. How about the spread? What is the spread? Okay, this is the difference between the bid and the ask price. I'll call it the standard definition. Standard difference. All right, so standard difference between ticks in the bid and the ask. All right, and what I kind of call it is, what's the gap? Okay, you'll see why that in a minute, because I have an indicator that is included in our pack that will show you this visibly when you can know when it's dangerous. I told you guys after hours, if you are trading after hours, again, I don't recommend any new traders ever trading after hours, but there are specific times and scenarios where you do. You'll learn all that as you get into the crew, but just to tap into this, the spread, be careful. The best thing to do is trade things with very small spread where you don't have to worry about the difference between the bid and the ask, so that as you enter and exit your trade, that slippage does not kill you, okay? This has to do with slippage, okay? What is slippage? Okay, you probably heard this before. Oops, let's do yellow. What is slippage? When you enter or exit a trade and you think you're trying to sell at $99, and for some reason when you punch the sell button you ended up selling it for $102. Wait a minute, what's the difference here? That's $3. What happened to my $3? Again, I'm just using this as a big example. This is not normal, okay, what we're talking about, but I just wanted to give this so you understand. You meant to close it out and you thought you were going to get 99, but you're slipping, like you didn't get a sell. There was nobody there to sell to, so you got slipped to 102, because this is what happens at a thin market, okay? Be careful if you're choosing your instrument and you're trading in a thin market. Slippage is going to become a problem. You want approximately 1 to 2 ticks maximum at any time that you're trading something with slippage particularly. And again, we teach it most of the time. We are trading market orders. There are occasions when you're going to be doing limits. I'm not going to get super deep into that right now. Alexa, stop. All right, so we're at 1 hour there, right? We should have been done with our trading at that point. You know, wrapping it up. That's 1 hour. You maybe have 30 minutes left in your day. Alexa, stop. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
All right, so that's how you're going to do it, as you are using your timer-based stuff that we talk about in here. And of course, I'm not going to get into it tonight. You watch that in other videos on the 69 minutes and why. Slippage, be careful, getting slipped in and out. Things that are thinner, things that are like palladium, right? And things like platinum. And I've told some people, be careful. Yes, they look like, oh, but look at the charts. They look so perfect. Be careful. They look, it's like this little tempting. It's like going to see Medusa, all right? It's like, oh, look, it's so beautiful. Then you're like, the snake's coming out of her head, and you turn to stone, all right? Just be careful. Trading things like that. Know about it, learn about it before you start to execute it, all right? Volume and spread, got it. ZBs, talk about that. Daily routine, personal assessments, got that. Okay, no yoga. We talked about this a little bit in video number 1, I believe, but talking about your daily routine when you're coming in. Some people think you got to be so regimented. I'm going to touch on this topic to go, you need to thrive in chaos. Okay, stop trying to do this stuff. Don't believe all these FUBU gurus that are like, okay, you know what? You know why I'm so good? Because I'm so disciplined. I'm so disciplined that I put the exact 3.759963 ounces of bean grinds in my coffee every day. And if it's even slightly off, I don't trade that day. And first, I dust off my keyboard to make certain that I'm in it. I do my Zen stretches. I go stretch to the top, I stretch to the bottom, I touch my toes, I touch my nose, a ting ting tang, and then I'm ready for the day. Okay, the market isn't anything like that. The market is never in a steady state of scenarios. You got to be able to adapt. The best people that trade are adaptable people, not regimented, not rigorous, not stiff-necked individuals that have a specific agenda every day, every time. Kids that need their binkies and their babas and I can't go to sleep without my binky and my baba. No. Those kids do not thrive. They don't succeed very well in life, and nor will you succeed well here. All right, won't get into that. That's it. Be flexible, ultimately flexible, and be good at it. How do you get good at it? Practice. All right. Don't trade hungry. All right, we talked about that one. I'll give an example of that with hunger. When you go to the grocery store and you're hungry, what do? Even if you don't need it, you go into the grocery store, you're getting there hungry, you end up going down the aisles and you're grabbing everything off the shelf, right? Everybody talks about it. That's a psychological thing. You don't want to shop hungry at the store. You don't want to trade hungry either. So on days where, like, if you have taken some losses or you're not at your P&L and you're trading hungry, be aware that you're trading hungry. You're like, oh man, I haven't hit my $5,000 mark this week. It's Friday, I'm gonna go big, and just be careful. Don't trade in that type of hunger either, which is trading greedy, okay? And be careful of that, because psychologically it's that thing you can't even explain why you're grabbing that stuff off the shelf. You can't explain why that's happening to you in the markets, but it's the same thing. Windfall days, want to talk about that. It's a perfect day today to talk about it. We had a huge windfall day today, so what am I worried about tomorrow? So now I've got greed in full swing. I crushed the market today, so what's going to happen tomorrow? Remember Vinny's rule. Tomorrow, after a windfall day, what happens, right? All right. Don't debate me. It's truth. All right. Just believe it. If you believe it, you can receive it, and you will act accordingly. Listen, after a windfall day, the market rule is you're going to owe the market the next day double what you took and made the day before. You guys follow that? Now, you could do several things if you know this rule and the market is going to take double from you the following day. Then you can either, one, the day after, not trade. Okay, you got two options. Or two, increase fear. How about I just say fear? And maybe a little carrot. Okay? Either don't trade or increase your fear level. And this should scare you. Okay? If this is true, this is how I fake myself out. This is how I scare myself into getting, remember, fear and greed need to be in balance. When you have a windfall day, you now have massive amounts of greed, you feel a little more relaxed, you just crushed it, you're ready the next day, you're going to try to do it again. This is what happens psychologically. There's some things that change, shift in the universe. I don't know what ends up happening, but I'll tell you that I oftentimes ask traders who've been trading a long time. They probably have, some of them you'll hear, they'll say, man, I had my absolute best week ever followed by my worst week ever. I had my best month ever followed by my worst month ever. I had my best day on Friday. I came back Monday and gave it all back, and then some I blew out my account. Like, you'll hear these stories. Something happens. It's a market rule. It's a market law. Just write it down, keep it in your brain, and think about it, and then you can overcome it. Remember, first thing is knowing the problem, then you can solve it. And if you check out my hook, my DJ revolves it. All right, Ice Ice Baby. Next, news. We talked about that. What do we do during a news event? Let's talk about how we punch into the news. So you're coming in here, type !news into our room. Bloop. Magic happens, and with the magic of technology emerges this beast right here. Okay, this will give you the layout for the day, the times of day. Get February 11th. This was for today. If I want the news for tomorrow, you can type in news space tomorrow. It'll show up, but usually that day you want the news events. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the red tags in here, right? Where are the red ones? Red, 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 red. Okay, these are the main ones that we're looking for. We won't go into a lot of detail here tonight, but how do you play them? All you need to know is there should be like a 5 or 10 minute window around the event. And I say 5 to 10 because, again, there's nothing hard set about it. But you should estimate for yourself that you need to give yourself a gap of space around 5 minutes at least, up to 10 minutes around a news event release, where you're going to just hands off, right? Don't try to trade this event. Don't get crazy. You do not have to trade during that news event. The market could go absolutely nuts during there. Now, look, I know that there's going to be sometimes a perfect setup, but your desire in your mind should tell yourself the news event is about to come out. I need to relax, kick back, maybe listen to the news, watch how the market reacts. Don't try to anticipate. Don't try to interpret it, and don't try to react too quickly. Just give yourself about a 5 to 10 minute gap, okay? I don't need to belabor this. You guys are smart folks. There you go. There's your note, okay? 5 to 10 minute gap around the news event. That's all you need. Then keep trading, okay? That's it. Good? Next. All right. Free version of NinjaTrader, folks. All right, so those of you guys who are using the free version of NinjaTrader. Okay. Free version of NinjaTrader people. You have a few disadvantages. You know, you can't do full auto, but it's okay. But things like the biggest one is the ATM. Okay, you're trading with no ATM. Without the ATM, which again, that is automatic trade manager. And for us, what does that do for us? That gives us an entry, that gives us targets, and it gives us a stop or multiple stops. Okay, and this creates bracket orders for us. So we enter in right here. This is a winner. This is a winner. Bloop, 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 bloop. bracket orders follow. Okay, these will create OCOs. How about orange? Nah, here we go, yellow. Okay. One cancels the other. Okay. So if this one gets hit, automatically cancels this one. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, ask questions specifically. But an ATM will automatically put these in. So we press one button, and we try to keep things simple. Let's do a nice orange button for ourselves. And how about blue, since that's our action item over here. And we got ourselves a nice button right here. And it's going to be a buy button. So we're going to make it green. And we're going to punch the buy market button. Boop. All right, you press the button, bam. This bracket order automatically kicks out for people who have the full edition. But if you don't have the full version and you are on the free version, you're having to place orders in the dome. Okay, again, I won't get into domes particularly, but you guys have heard me before, like the 1980s called, why are you still trading with a dome? All right, I get it. Some people are like, oh, he doesn't even trade with a dome. He can't be a real trader. Okay, boomer. Okay, listen, 1980 called, Michael J. Fox called, and they want their DeLorean back, and they want their Dom back. You know what I'm saying? That's old school, in my personal opinion. Why not just press the button and automatically have stuff create for you? Because that's how we do things. We got smartphones, trade smart. That's all I got to say about that. But you are using the dome to enter trades if you are on the free version Ninja Trader. Be careful and make sure that you are placing your own stops. Do not trade without stops. I'm not going to belabor the point. Make sure you create your own stops manually. Okay, I got nowhere to say manually, but you get my point. You guys are gonna have to put your stops manually. If you're on the free version of Ninja Trader, do not trade without stops. Things like that news event will wreck your entire account before. If you all kinds of things are gonna happen. If you're gonna trade, look, you're gonna get away with this for a while. Okay, I've seen some people in our room. They're trading with the dome right now. You guys know who you are. You're getting away with it right now. But I promise you, there will come the day. Promise, as serious as a heart attack, as 3 heart attacks and a bypass, all combined in one, it will happen. You will have a massive, messed up day. An inventory event will come out, a news event will come out, your system will lock up. It doesn't matter. There will be a reason and a day that it happens. Okay, and you will crash. You will cry about it if you don't do what I'm telling you, and I'm making sure that you use stops. Put them in yourself. That's it pretty much for the free version Ninja Trader. All right, speaking of that, also have your broker on speed dial. Okay, next part. Oops. What does that mean? I want them to be like the top. I don't care, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, doesn't matter. Make them angry at you. Okay, make them the top in there. Like, I don't want you having to shuffle around to find your broker. All right, put them in the favorites list. Have it right there. Click to your broker. Okay, in your contacts list. Also have your account number ready. Okay? Have your account number in the contact. You guys get the point. All right, put your account number. You had to call the desk today? Remel. And how fun was that trying to look up the phone number? Remel, give the list of the steps of you having to call your broker today. How fun was that having to look your stuff up? Was that fun? No. So imagine being able to go, oh shoot, my computer's locked up. When you're in panic mode, you do not want that to be the moment that you're trying to figure out how to call the trade desk, okay? Have the trade desk number, beep, on speed dial, okay? Sorry, and I specifically mean the trade desk. I'm going to be more specific, okay? Because people are like, oh, my broker. Well, there's lots of numbers for your broker. The trade desk number. Every broker has the trade desk number, okay? Love these people at the trade desk because they are your lifeline. Okay, you must know how to call your lifeline. Okay, call the trade desk. Make sure you know how to call them up and be able to rapidly give them the information. Maybe even practice. There you go, number 2 on your speed dial. That's fine. Okay, as long as you know what it is. Okay, don't in the moment that you're panicking, you're like, oh shoot, was it number 1 or was it number 2? Okay, I don't want none of that. I don't want to hear your excuses and you're whining and crying. Video blow my account. I don't know what happened. I'm going crazy. I couldn't call. My eyes were blurry because I was crying. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Click the button. Click. Hi, this is so-and-so. Account number such. I need to close out all my trades immediately. Yes, sir. Done. Ding. Got it. Boom. Like that. That's how it should go down. Go practice it a couple times. Hi, this is so-and-so. Account number such. Please close out all my trades. Thank you. That's it. Boom. Done. Right, because that's really all you're going to do. You don't want to be opening up trades and whatnot. It's panic mode. Call the trade desk. Tell them to close out your stuff because you lost connection. You don't have to explain it to them. You don't have to give them your life story. Right? You can be as curt and short. They're used to it. All right? Most of them in New York, Chicago, so they're a-holes anyways, just like me. All right. That's it. Kept giving him the wrong account number. See? Gave him the wrong account number? Dude, that's a mess. Have your account number in your phone contact or write it down somewhere. If you want to be like, if you're a paper guy, fine, have it in your trade journal. But you guys know how it is. I know some of you guys are trading from work. You guys are trading from the Bahamas, like Tim Sykes, right? Hanging out with bikinis and Lamborghinis, whatever your deal is. Make sure you have it with you. That's why I say put it in the contacts. All right, I won't belabor the point any further. Do it or die. Simple. Move on. Broker on speed dial. Got it. Free version. Got it. So when should we start trading live, Vinny? Ooh, glad you should ask. Make sure you get through. You're going to know. I'll tell you this. You're going to know when you're ready. Okay? This varies from person to person, but I promise you, you'll know. And I'm going to give you some suggestions here. Okay, when should I go live? You and only you will know. Okay. As much as I can, NT7 was giving me problems today. Yeah, it can happen. You and only you will know. Okay. I love you. I can give you great advice. I can be pretty darn close, but if I think you're ready and you're still are like, man, I got these things and like I really wasn't honest with Vinny or whoever you're talking with about it, you're gonna know. But I will tell you that there are some rules of thumb. Remember, go back to video number 1 or 2, I forget which one, that I talked about how long it takes to acquire 10,000 hours of experience to become a master. Now, do you have to wait until you're an absolute master? No, you can be a master of just a few things. Okay, right? I think you can learn a few things in a very short period of time. And I showed you guys, I believe it was 146 or 148 days that you can literally become a master if you did the relentless version, right? So I'm not going to belabor that point, but our program breaks things down into 40 days, and then right here, you go live. Right? So approximately 120 days, I believe that if you go through our program, and remember, on each one of these spots, you give me a call, right? 40 days here, give me a call. 40 days here, give me a call. And before you go live, we're having a call, you and me, one-on-one. Hop in the Discord chat, pop into the one-on-one room. We have our chats. We have some questions on each section that I've got planned out for you so I can assess where you're at as your mentor, okay? My suggestion is 120 days, okay? But remember, the big number is actually 148. Based on the very first video, go back and check that out as far as days and why and how, numbers of hours, etc. when you're doing market replay. But Again, direct correlation between the amount of hours you spend and the time amount you spend in market replay and the size of your P&L. Now, if you need a small P&L, don't worry about it, okay? But if you want to push the limits, you have to be willing to do what other people are not willing to do. I showed you guys the picture of the ballerina feet, right? Everybody wants to be a ballerina until she takes off her shoes and you see her feet and you're like, oh my God, why do your feet look like that? She's like, because I'm a ballerina. What? But you're so beautiful and you do all this musical dancing stuff. It just looks so easy. She's like, yeah, I make it look easy. You ain't seen all my broken toes and like how my hamstrings have been having to pull back behind my head, you know, for hours and hours on end. All the work, like she's like, but you can kick your leg back behind your head. You must have been born that way. No, friends, she was not born that way. Okay. All right. Same thing with you see me trading in the room. I might make it look easy, but folks, you know, it takes time to get there. All right. Just take your time, be patient, but execute like it's like your life depends on it. Right? Like you got no tomorrow. Execute well, and do it often. Free alarm clock. You need to install a free alarm clock. We'll just say that. We'll get you guys some templates for that. I'm not going to spend time because we are running out of time here. Quarterly tax benefits. Okay, things as you are trading live. Normal toes can't do that. Yeah, even the toes, exactly. Quarterly taxes. Folks, some of you guys are new to this. When you are doing this full-time or even part-time, this is 1099 income in the United States. Now, outside the United States, you guys close your ears. I don't know how you guys do it. Talk to somebody else. I'll use Wiz said, clear, reach your great site, so I go over them. Thanks, William. Appreciate that, my friend. Man, I really appreciate you guys and the positive thoughts. I get a lot of trolling. I get my fair share. The trolls have started to tend to regret that. I've gotten way too good at dealing with them now. So I had literally 2 of them cry today. It was almost a record. Let's see, quarterly taxes though. You need to understand. Talk with your CPA. Know ahead of time. It's pretty simple for them to go to the IRS to send in quarterlies. If you've never done 1099 income before, you've never been a contractor or whatever, you've had normal W-2 wages and income, and somebody's already taking your wages from you every paycheck and whatnot. This is different. Okay, you're in charge of your own stuff. Make sure you know what to do. Quarterly. Whole other video on that, but just keep it in mind that as you go live, you're going to have to worry about sending in quarterly taxes to old Uncle Sam in the United States. You'll get a 1099-B at the end of the year. A little bit different than stocks or anything else. Stocks are a pain in the tail. To deal with all of that, you have to track everything in and out. You don't have to do that with futures. Just know that it's a beautiful 1099-B for shoring up stuff, and you don't have to worry about, well, what do I do at the end of the year? Do I have to download all my stuff? Nope. You get to 1099-B. Put that into your tax section. It's got a little section there that says, oh, you got 1099-B. Make sure you use, well, I don't know. You work it out with your CPA. I do my own through those electronic online ones. TaxAct, TurboTax, whatever you want to use. All right. 60% tax relief for U.S. citizens. Oh, this is a big one. So if you have not been in our room, head on over here and make sure you know the 21 E-mini advantages. 21, yes, folks. We come to find out. I am the authority on all things E-mini. So kudos to my name, I guess, Vinny E-mini there. But we are the only site that features all 21 advantages. The closest one that was near that number was, I think it was 12 or 14. And 2 of them were questionable. They were talking about that, I remember one of them was, futures markets are so thick. Really? Like the S&P 500 is, the ZB, but anyway, there's some of them that are wrong. Ours are all 100% accurate, and the biggest one I want you to pay attention to right now, but go through these, is this one right here. So if you and a stock person make the same amount of money, right? You make 100K this year, and your stock buddy makes 100K this year, you're pocketing like an extra car. Okay, in your wallet. You come away with an extra car that you can keep for yourself or give it away if you wish. You want to be charitable? Fantastic. Okay, the thing is Uncle Sam is giving you a car for trading futures. For simply having traded futures instead of trading stocks, you, my friend, basically get what is the equivalent of a decent car from your tax break. Okay, that's how I like to use it. Go debate with someone else about it. There you go. Next, vision boarding. Folks, you need to, as a business owner, you need to set yourself goals. You need to be the person. You are now in control of your destiny, which means you are the one guiding yourself. You need things like this. You need things in front of your eyes. You need things on your walls that are showing you where you want to be. Your goals need to be written in visual format so that your eyes can see it, that you're constantly thinking about it. It needs to be fresh in your mind. Vision boarding, extremely important. I will do other videos on that, but vision boarding tools, keep them in front of you. You know the ones, okay? Trade sizing, holy shnikes. This is not really about going live. I'm gonna do a total different set of videos on this, but some of the biggest things about adjusting your trades, what you need to know before you go live, you need to be comfortable with trade sizing. And what that means, how you can adjust on the fly, because this is the difference between the wheat and the chaff around here, right? You can make up for trades you can have 3 or 4 losses in a row and one trade make back everything if you are trade sizing appropriately. Okay, you need to be able to adjust quickly on the fly. It needs to become second nature. It's not going to be natural at first. Spend your time in market replay. Learn this. And this is one of those things that is hard to teach. Okay, this is one that you've got to, I can give you tips, I can give you strategies around it. Okay, but at the end of the day, you have to have this and it has to become second nature to you. Okay, this is personal to you because I cannot define for you what your P&L targets are, what your lifestyle looks like. Okay, if I made $50 in a day, I would be terrible. I would be in terrible, terrible shape. Okay, but some people are perfectly happy making, if they made $50 a day, they'd be so pumped and so happy. For me, that's not a level of success. For me, okay, for someone else, it might be. For $200 a day, if I made $200 a day, to me, that would not be success. I would be in some trouble if I were only going to be hitting $200 a day. Different style, different lifestyle, different points in life, etc., etc. 3 kids, wife, children, elderly parents, etc., etc. Everyone's situation is different. I'm not going to belabor the point, but just know, I stress, you must learn trade sizing. Okay, it's much easier in trading futures and micros, by the way, because it's 1 contract, 2 contracts, 3 contracts, 4, 5, 6. You know, like we can do it some more. It's very easy here. Much more difficult in position size management. All right, you have to like basically have tools to do this stuff. If you're trading stocks where you're having to adjust different things, have different values and prices. Here, much, much simpler, not belaboring the point further. Trading like a real estate agent monthly, we actually covered that one at the beginning, so I'm going to skip on that one. But keep in mind, you are a business. Treat it as a business. Become the ultimate business owner. Own the business. You are the business. Greatest business on the planet, in my opinion. The least amount of overhead, the least amount of employee headache. I mean, you are your most annoying person, which, you know, for me, it's extremely annoying, of course. But, you know, if you can deal with you, fantastic. Be a hero. Be your own hero. All right. Expert poker player. You need to become an expert poker player, folks. This is probably one of the most direct correlations to market characteristics in trading the markets that you can attain to. Speak to a poker player. If you don't know a poker player, find one. They are everywhere, okay? But find a good one if you can. But don't listen to AK, right? That guy Shalom Benzev, complete moron. Don't listen to people like that think, oh, they think they can read stats and whatnot. The guy can barely, you know, add 3 and 3 together. You know, he tries to talk like he knows calculus, and the guy's struggling with the addition sign. So you need to know, though, how to, again, come into this trading size. Okay, important. But it's not all about your stats, folks. You don't ask a poker player how many hands he's folded. Okay, you don't go, well, what's your win-loss ratio on the numbers of hands that you win? That is a completely useless stat to a poker player. Don't ask me, go talk to one of them, but I will tell you it's a useless stat, okay? The stats that matter are the proper sizing can adjust, right? You can have a 30% win rate and still be profitable, okay? And you guys know this. I'm not gonna, I'm preaching to the choir here. You guys are smart folks. You're smarter than AK. you know, Shalom, he's a retard, and we're gonna leave it at that. You guys know the guy. Oh, and by the way, he's selling you mentorship though. He hasn't traded before, but he's ready to mentor you. We'll be busting scammers this year, pretty hardcore. Every Wednesday, we're going to be calling it Wrecking Ball Wednesday, and I will only deal with wrecking them on Wednesdays. So look forward to that coming up here in 2020. And yes, we'll be naming names. All right, don't be a Walmart trader. This is a big one. We got a lot of people doing this one right here. I see this one a lot. What does this mean? What does that mean? Don't be a Walmart trader. Don't try to trade everything. Alexa, stop. You get the point. Okay? Don't try to trade everything that moves. We get people like, oh man, you know, I trade this, I trade that, and I trade that, and I trade this, I trade options, I trade stocks, I trade futures, I trade bonds, I trade... Jack of all trades, master of none. You guys know the drill, okay? It's like having a restaurant that sells every different type of food. That food's probably not going to be good, okay? Be specific. Be an Italian restaurant, or be a Mexican food restaurant, or be McDonald's if you want to be. But don't try to be McDonald's and the Three Forks restaurant, okay? Like fine dining and steaks and whatnot, and selling kids meals on the side and fanny packs. Like, don't, okay? Don't try to do it all. You're just going to be mixed up, and you're not going to be profitable, okay? In the end, just don't do it, okay? Best advice: be specific. Trade small numbers of items. Keep it small, keep it simple, right? And just do it over and over again. Be very good at it. Master the small things, okay? Don't overdo it. Don't be a Walmart trader. There you go. All right, we're almost to the bottom of the list here. You're not doing a bake sale, folks. You need proper equipment. Now, this leads me into what's up with the proper equipment. I'm not going to go into a whole lot here tonight. I've said that probably 1,000 times. I'm almost tired of hearing it myself. But hop over here to the left, Vinny's Trade Desks. Okay, and if you forget this later, it's okay. We can direct you to it. Be like, hey, Vinny, where's that hardware thing? You need proper hardware. Okay, I didn't talk about this in the first videos, and I should have. Here we go. I've got a 3-part series on hardware. The details, the nitty-gritty, the best, okay, the worst, stuff to avoid, etc. And of course, you don't have to have the absolute best, but I'll tell you that the better that you get, you know, here there's a direct translation to what you get, all right? And there is all kinds of details of that in my part 1, 2, and 3 series. I make suggestions on today's suggestion, okay? This is the ultimate setup, in my opinion. This is the secondary alternative, 40-inch 4Ks, vertical, inexpensive setups that are professional setups. I'm not talking about mamby-pamby setups, okay? Any of them will work, but if you want a trade setup, the original is the 6-screen grid, which looks something like this, where you've got 6 screens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what Tom Dante uses. Don't do what I did with your models. Exactly. You know, look, Remel, I've heard other people, you know, spent money on things and they've hurt themselves, and they didn't listen to me when I told them specifically what they need to do. Just trust me to guide you in the right direction. And I know we're all adults. I went to this in the last video. I know we're all adults, so it's hard for us to take advice from somebody else. We all think that we can come up with a better thing. Well, for me, I'm going to be better using this. No, you're not. I promise. I promise you're not. I have spent stopper amounts of time, efforts, and money on doing it. Do I have my video on that? I'm going to show you guys a video that I recorded, sent over to my buddy Tom Dante recently, joking about how I went into my spare bedroom where I kept all of my monitors. You guys are going to crap yourselves. There are over 30 monitors. I'm not joking. Counted them recently, had my daughter go through and count them. 30 monitors in just my side room. That's not including the ones that are live in this room, and you guys have seen my room tour. We've got a lot of monitors in here running, okay? What I mean by that is I have tried every configuration, every logistical configuration there is known to man in every device, every type and sort, and I have settled on the things that I know are best for everyone. I had them before that. Wasn't even one of those. It wasn't that he weren't listening. Okay, Remo, I'll give you credit. So he didn't go. He already had it. So that's good. Okay, but I have some people that, I mean, they spent thousands of dollars and actually went out and bought the wrong equipment when I literally was like, folks, you see this keyboard right here? Buy it. Corsair K55. Simple. Membrane-based keyboard. I'm not going to argue with you people who think that you're better with a mechanical keyboard. I promise you, you're not. Next, this mouse right here. Why this mouse? I'll teach you why. Go into the video, but all the way down to the mouse and the type and the click and everything, and using claw grip versus palm grip. And if you don't even know what that is, well, trust the experts. I know what's up. Get yourself the fingertip grip, claw grip, small mouse that allows you with dexterous switching to be able to hit the keys on top with extra buttons. And if you're gonna be like, oh, Vinny, what about me? I'm a lefty. Oh, look at me. GS300S is an ambidextrous mouse. Next. No, there is not anything I haven't thought of. Yes, I've thought of everything. Stop arguing with me. Do what I tell you to do so you can succeed. Any other questions? I didn't think so. Thank you. Come again. Next. All right. Are you guys having some fun? I am. All right. Business owner, restaurant, talk about that. Bulls and bears make money, folks. That's it. Animals. Let's talk about animals. Bulls and bears make money. Pigs get slaughtered. Just remember that one. I didn't make it up. Somebody else did, but I love that one. Bulls and bears make money. Pigs get slaughtered. All right. When you get greedy, be careful. Pigs will get slaughtered. Be a bull. Be a bear. Make your money. Remember video 4, right? Ride the bull. Get off the bull. 8 seconds is a ride. It's fine, okay? Hit your targets. Get in, get out. If you try to ride that bull longer, you're going to die. All right, next. You're not having fun doing it wrong. We went over that. Vinny's 13 things, went over that. Practice makes permanent. All right, folks, here we go. Last 2 events. Can they be 4K smart TVs and not a monitor? Yes, they can, William. The answer is yes, they can. There are some cool YouTube videos out there with some other folks that are big hardware geeks that will tell you the difference between 4K smart TVs and how to adjust your smart TV so that it can be a monitor. But yes, because they receive the same inputs and because they have the same displays and they share the same displays, there are some nuances to it, making sure that your refresh rate and that there's no lag. Be careful. If you're using a TV, you might get input lag, which is very annoying. If you are feeling input lag, I promise you, you will feel it and you'll know. And you'll be like, just come over here and be like, Vinny, why am I having input lag? Tell me what monitor you have. I will send you a link to what's up with your lag. But you can set your TV, basically you set your TV to raw input mode or to gaming mode. Gaming mode bypasses all of their frills and shills and all of the color adjustments and ultra refresh rates where they're faking the refresh rate and whatnot, and it will be raw. But once you set the TV to basically create it as a monitor, yes, it can work. So feel free to purchase yourself some of those nice smart 4K TVs and watch you some 4K vertically. It's a little bit weird doing it verticals, but get it figured out. Practice makes permanent, folks. Practice does not make perfect, okay? I've seen people practice imperfectly, so all you're going to do is if you practice improperly, you'll make it permanent. So remember that. Practice makes permanent. Make sure you are practicing properly, especially when you get down to those last 40 days. Now, properly, again, for the first 40, so the first 80 days, there is no proper way. I will teach you and tell you the right way, but I'm not trying to get you to ace it. I want you to learn how to lose, right? Have you done any G-Sync? Oh, yes, baby. Woohoo! Have I? I love G-Sync, baby. Oh, G-Sync for gaming. Oh, ultimate. If I could do my screens in 4K on G-Sync, I would. They don't, the refresh rates aren't there yet. I think in a few years, maybe even less than a year, we're going to be close to where 4Ks can get those high refresh rates. My favorite monitor that I have for gaming, really anything that I do, is my, I think is it the G35? Now I'm getting the number wrong. I think it might be a 34. But I'll send a link to it for gaming stuff. Oh, it's got 200 refresh rate, literal, actual 200 refresh rate. The problem with it is the pixel density up and down. Verticals, Not a lot of pixels. It's still 1080, but it's wide, so you get the full 25. Is it? No, it's not. It's more than 2560. No. I think it's 2560. 2560, but 1080 up and down instead of 1920 wide. But 200 hertz refresh is amazing. I pretty much wreck everybody who tries to play me in Battlefield, and I'm pretty sure that it's partly because of that monitor. It's amazing. Journaling, final note. Speaking of notes, what time is it? All right, we're about an hour and 45 minutes into this video. That's still not too bad. All right, again, this is video 5. This will be the final in the digestion series of videos. These 5 videos, you need to go back, play them again, know everything in these videos, all right? Something that helps with NT7? No, unfortunately not. It will help with your speed when you're clicking, but NT7 specifically, no, it's not going to solve any problems. It's not going to make your NT7 go any faster. But your reaction time, yes. In fact, if you're trading in queue on a high refresh rate monitor, you know, the higher the refresh rate, the better. But will you be able to do it in a 4K? Probably not. The only 4K that I've seen with a high refresh rate is only like 27 inches. And you are wasting pixels. Where's Simon at? I think Simon might already be in bed by now. He's in Australia, so he'll probably catch this video tomorrow. But ask Simon about 4K in 27-inch monitors. It's worthless, okay? I've seen it. I've got 1 or 2 of them that I tried a long time ago when I had 27-inch sets. Completely worthless. These are now 32s, which is the absolute minimum for 4K. And even 32 is actually too small, in my opinion. You need to go to the big dogs if you're going to be using actual 4K and taking advantage of all the pixels so that you can get more charts, etc. So there's a balance between speed and size. Same thing really with trading instruments. Speed and size are kind of against each other. You're trying to find a happy medium like the Russell, but you're never going to get the speed of the NASDAQ with the size of some of the others. Same thing with the pixels. There's a limitation on the technology as of right now. They may fix that in the future. They may have to do a bigger cable than DisplayPort. Make sure you got the proper DisplayPort cables as well to support the speed that you've got. That we go over a lot in the hardware series, but it's a great question. Journaling. All right, 2 of these. All right, we are on page number 2 of my notes here tonight. I told you guys I was going to get all in this final video here tonight in lessons 1 through 5. I hope you guys got to digest. Well, we did a lot tonight, did we not? We did a lot. But the final one, get yourself 2 of these on your desk. I don't recommend the really big ones. I prefer the ones that are, you know, a little bit bigger than your palm. Okay, so getting the size reference here. Okay, size your palm. Get 2 of these side by side. One of them because I'll give an example. Neon, you still awake? Neon was in here earlier. He's my verbose friend, and he found that as he journaled too much, there is a happy medium there as well. When you are trading, when you're writing too much stuff, it's hard to go back and digest when you're trying to find something, okay? I like to make big drawings on certain pages because your brain can remember patterns and pictures, so you use an image, and I'll talk about journaling more specifically, but tonight all I want you to do is at least go out before you start trading live, get you 2 of these, and we'll go into further detail on how specifically I journal on my pages themselves. What I suggest, things like in one journal, we're going to be having bigger picture items, stuff like summaries and specific details. Almost think of it like titles. We're going to have titled stuff and observations. So you're going to have one observational journal and one action item journal. Okay, the action item journal will be one that you are keeping up with more actively while you are going to take that and do things that week and whatnot. The other journal, the observations, bigger picture items that you will use, put kind of over on the side in your shelf to refer back to years later. Because what you're going to be doing is going, okay, oh man, we're coming up on August. I've got an example of one right here. In one of my trade journals, it says gigantic letters at the top. I can picture it in my head right now. It says August is slow, and I wrote it in gigantic letters, and I put all this little squiggle all around it. August is slow. And I was like, dude, what is up with August? Like, something's up. And then every other year after that, though, I kind of remember, I go back and then I wrote what happened in August, right? What was going on in August? Why was I saying it was slow? I had all that detail in there. But when I needed to look back in my journal, I could flip through, and then, oh, there's that page. It really stuck out like a sore thumb. Stuff like that. what happens on stuff on Sunday nights, quad witching weeks, stuff like that I would talk about in my journal, writing it down for myself. Although again, you for our tactics, what we do, algorithmic trading, it's not nearly as important as some of these other guys that are just like, oh, you live in your journal. Without a journal, you die. Well, that's for people who don't have algorithms. That's for people who don't have good computers and aren't letting the tools do the work. They need to go pen and paper, pencil to pen, and they got to use their eraser a lot. All right. It's not that complicated around here. We let the tools do the work, but it's a good idea to have those journals for yourself, and some of it is just to kind of get things off your chest, and sometimes you need something in hand to write something down on, and that your electronic notes aren't going to necessarily be able to do that. Although it's not hurting you. It's nice, in fact, if you write so well that you could have your notes OCR'd back into your computer so that later on it's searchable, right? Then you could type in a search. So there's a catch-22 to a journal on paper versus one that's electronic that could be searchable, right? So give and take, and let's do another video on journaling, and let's talk about it. Let's hear what people have gotten that helps them. But at the end of the day, you don't really have to do that much journaling when it comes to our system, right? You need to take the notes, you need to know our system, you need to know our strategies, you need to know our rules. And the notes about like the macro events really are not nearly as impactful as for other methodologies. Like we are in, we're out, we make our money, we are income-based strategies. We're not, investors, and we don't hold anything overnight or long-term. So a lot less journaling and doing all that extra work. And for me, I'm all about Occam's razor. There are two solutions to a problem. Occam's razor says the simplest solution is always the best solution. Oh, yeah. All right, folks, that's it. If you guys got any other questions, pop those over there in the chat box to see did I miss any. Nope, I think the last one was there about the G-Sync stuff. And if we missed anything else, I will try to do some follow-up videos. Let me talk about how the rest of the series winds up. The next videos are going to be very quick and to the point. We are going to go now, once you have digested these, how to filter through an actual trade. What we're going to look at, we are going directly into the strategies themselves, starting at the top of the list and working our way down. First one on the list is going to be our strategy for the 2-finger, and we will work our way down this list here, one video for each one of those. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for saying that. And let me hit on this real quick. We recently did the filtering mechanism. I'll put this in an advanced topic video for later, but I did want to hit on this tonight because some people have asked. So those of you guys who held in, you know what this is. This is the bonus material. If you stayed here until the end, you're still listening to the sound of my voice. You're getting a bonus. Here it is. All right, you guys who hung in here with me, you guys are getting a bonus here tonight. So when I'm executing, right before I'm about to execute a trade, some people were asking, Vinny, what's your process as you look through your charts? Well, we talked about the cycle, right? The cycle goes like this. Okay, right? We go from 89 to mid, filter, bam. You guys remember this from the last videos? And then we execute right here, right? But here is the bonus tip for tonight for those of you guys who stayed in, all right? This is how I actually do this. After I've done this on round one, and I'm like, check, check, filter, and now I'm looking here, okay? I haven't executed yet, but my eyes are focused here, okay? I'm looking here. What's up with these two charts? Now, before I execute, I actually do not go back here and here to restart my process. As I'm here and I'm stalking a trade, I'm ready, the stalking process. Neon was talking about what do I do when I'm stalking the process. As I'm stalking the final thing, I actually reverse my logic on this, and I actually just look right here. The last thing that I care about is this vertical line that, in this case, on this screen, you see the vertical line was what? Green. Okay? I already know this information, don't I? I should have already assessed that over here, I have a green bias, right? Because I've got a rising tide. I've already got these checked in my head. I can almost eliminate this part of the process. So my brain, the reason I can react quickly now is because now I'm reversing the process, and all I do is I look to the left, Okay, the first thing I need is, this is my final decision right here. It tells me if I'm looking for green or not. And then now that we have our new algo matrix, I look right here and then I'm back again. You guys see the process? Okay, I'm here. I look right here, here, I'm back to here. One more time. I'm here, I'm about to take my trade, but I'm like, okay, am I still biased green? Here, here, looking good. Bam, execute right there. Okay, and I don't go all the way back here for a while. Okay, I might need to go back here every half hour. Okay, maybe every 30 minutes. Okay, and I might only need to do 3 of these per session. Why? Because our session is broken down into 90 minutes, right? So this is a little pro tip for me. I'm not actually going back and doing the full round robin over again with my brain. I have eliminated that. I've got this one, got it locked in, got my lock in, boom, boom. Now I'm looking right here, pow, pow, execute, pow, pow. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out, folks. For me, Pippi, Robbie, Lunchbot, Mod Squad, Curtis G, and the rest of the gang. I'm sending out that big H-Town. See ya. Oh, it's broken. Let's go to this one.